We don't run a sloppy shop.
We don't run a sloppy shop. Huh? By the way, where the hell was Brian Cage at since that promo? What the hell is Powerhouse Hobbs at since that promo? Daz, you run a jobber stable. So yes, AW runs a sloppy shop. Hey, look here, Tony Khan. Will you please stop putting indie jobbers on your show, please? Then maybe you won't be getting all these botches.
One day, but I don't think you're gonna see me in a second tier promotion like AEW.
Hold on. Ain't Drew McIntyre? Ain't he like 6'7", but like 280, like 6'5"? I mean, isn't he a big guy? I thought you said I only like big guys. Even though I got videos saying that I'm not a fan of Big E as a world champion. And last time I checked, he is a big buff guy. But I thought I only like big guys, right? Then how come I'm not a fan of Drew McIntyre if I only like big guys? Let me tell you why this guy is the most overrated wrestler in the E. Because they have done everything in their power to get this guy over. They have done everything in their power to convince you he is a top guy. You ain't gotta convince me that Roman Reigns is a top guy. Look how he is presented on television. You are a fucking dumbass if you want Drew McIntyre to dethrone Roman Reigns. Dude, the same Drew McIntyre who he has lost his last 2 world title matches. It seems like you guys got short-term memories. He lost to Lashley and Big E in the same calendar year. And I remember before this year's WrestleMania, every podcaster was saying Drew McIntyre was going to get booed at WrestleMania and Bobby Lashley was going to get cheered. That came true. Drew McIntyre got fucking booed at this year's WrestleMania. Hence why I said he's the most overrated wrestler. What part of that don't you understand? He got booed. He got booed at WrestleMania. What part of that don't you fucking understand? The crowd does not like this guy. He is an awful face. Randy Orton is a better face than this guy. And that's sad. That's pathetic to me. Go back and listen to the Randy Orton Stone Cold podcast interview. Randy Orton said that before he was scheduled to wrestle Drew McIntyre, he said that he wasn't a fan of his. He didn't see the big deal in Drew McIntyre. He didn't want to work with him. But eventually Drew McIntyre won him over. Right? But that's proof Randy Orton wasn't a fan of this guy. Dude, I don't care how big you are. Drew McIntyre looks like $1 million. Dude, this guy, he's just overrated though. It's like, yeah, he can work in a ring, but what the fuck is his character? He seems forced. He seems like 2015 Roman Reigns, but the poor man's version. Because at least that Reigns got a reaction from the audience. Shit. Drew McIntyre gets no reaction. And if he does, it's a piped in reaction. Let me say that again. He gets piped in reactions. The crowd does not care about this guy. You might see only one Drew McIntyre sign in the audience. And you're saying he's over? You're saying he should beat Reigns? Look here, man. The only guy in the company that should beat Roman Reigns is Braun Breaker. A old face who had his time in the sun should not be in the same ring as Roman. We gotta start building up new fucking stars now, man. We can't keep forcing guys who had their time in the fucking sun. Braun Breaker will beat Reigns. Braun Breaker is Vince McMahon's new John Cena. That's his new Reigns. Braun Breaker is being groomed to be the face of the company. I guarantee you he will be drafted to SmackDown. Maybe next year, maybe. But the point is, dude, Drew McIntyre, he had his chance. He was on Raw for 2 years during the pandemic. And he got worse and worse, man. He just went on the decline after decline after decline. His matches were some of the worst drawing matches for a world champion in that brand's history. Nobody cared about him. People got sick of him. His push seemed forced. People got tired of this guy constantly being handed world title shot matches. His promos were just awful. They were forced. They were corny. They were unbelievable. This guy was talking like a goddamn college professor. This guy was talking like a goddamn kindergarten teacher. Constantly giving you history lessons. Over here saying Jack and the Beanstalk. And the Beanstalk grew so tall that the Scottish Warrior couldn't climb up to that top rope. Like, he was just saying some dumb, he was saying some of the dumbest shit on Raw, which was killing his reputation, which was killing his show. Look, the crowd got tired of him. And he got lucky, man. He got lucky that he wasn't a world champion during the era where Raw actually had an audience, because he would have gotten booed. But, dude, okay, if he is such a top guy, then why is he on fucking SmackDown? Let me give you a history lesson on the brand split. They don't put the top 2 guys in the company on one show. You can't do that because the other show will fucking suffer. Let's talk about John Cena and fucking Batista. When they were in their prime, when Batista had the rocket pack strapped to his back for his monster push, it was on SmackDown facing The Undertaker, Booker T, Ray, CM Punk, Eddie. He was the face of that brand. After Brock Lesnar left, it was Batista that was the face of that brand. Right? He was the top 2 guy in the company at that time. It was him and Cena. Cena was on Raw. Batista was on SmackDown. Because you can't have those guys on the same show. Right? They are 2 bigger names. One of the shows got to have one or the other. So the other show won't suffer in fucking ratings, right? Okay, so if your precious Drew McIntyre is a top guy, why is he on SmackDown? We all know whose show that is. Why is he on there? Raw needs him, right? Or do they? Does Raw really need your precious Drew McIntyre? If they do, why is he on SmackDown? Look, Raw needs all the help they could get. Have you seen the show? They need all the help they can get. So why is he on fucking SmackDown in the mid-card facing Ricochet? Because they gave up on him. They gave him every opportunity to get over as the top guy on Raw. Raw needs a top guy. Raw needs a face of the brand, and he was that, but he failed. So now he's on SmackDown in the mid-card on a show where he will never be the face of the brand. It will always be Reigns. So why is he on there? You don't put Stone Cold and The Rock on the same brand. That's fucking stupid. You don't put them on the same brand. Because what does that mean for the other brand? You get what I'm saying now? You can't have two top guys on the same show. But now Drew is on SmackDown, which means he is not a top guy. You can't give SmackDown all the top guys, right? That's proof he is not a top guy. Do you watch Raw? Raw needs Drew McIntyre, man. But maybe they don't. Maybe they feel like Raw can't live without Drew McIntyre. And that's sad. Raw has no face of that brand. Who's the face of that brand? Nobody. Right? It's supposed to be Drew. But no, he's on SmackDown. And we all know who's the face of that brand. Dude, just face it. He's in the mid-card now. He's back in the mid-card. It's insane, kinda. I'm trying to educate you on the history of the brand split. You don't put two top guys on one brand. That's fucking stupid. But I'm guessing the WWE just sees Drew McIntyre as a mid-card guy who can share the same brand as a Reigns, because he's not that big of a guy. To me, I feel like Drew McIntyre, that's a demotion to me. How do you go from being a world champion on Raw? That was your show. You was the face of that show. A year later, they sent you to SmackDown in the mid-card, and you were on the same brand as Roman Reigns. The same Roman Reigns who told you, Drew McIntyre, that you were just a number 2 guy. You were on Raw. You were on a show that nobody watches. He said that to you in a promo interview before your match at Survivor Series. Remember that? He said, I don't watch Raw. Who the hell watches Raw? He said that to your face, Drew McIntyre. He buried you. And now you're on the same brand as him? That's like, wow. If you can't beat them, join them. Drew McIntyre failed carrying Raw. Now he's on the same brand that Roman Reigns buried him on last year. That's a demotion. He got demoted to the B show. And yes, on paper, SmackDown is the B show. It's not the A show. Case in point, Roman Reigns said that SmackDown is trash when he's not on the show. Right? When Reigns is not on the show, SmackDown's garbage, right? Okay, yeah, that's the B show. In hindsight, the A show will always be Raw. It's just, they don't try on Raw, but on paper, Raw is the A show. That show been around longer, so yes, that will always be the A show. Drew McIntyre was on that show as the top guy, and he fucking failed. Bobby Lashley was a better world champion than Drew McIntyre. Dude, nobody wanted Lashley to get beat by Big E. Nobody wanted Lashley to get beat by Drew McIntyre. People were pissed off that Lashley lost. Nobody was pissed off that Drew got beat by Orton. Huh? Nobody was pissed off that Drew got beaten by fucking Miz. Where was the outrage? There was zero outrage. But there was tons of outrage that Lashley lost that way against Big E. You know why? Lashley was the more beloved champion. We had a better connection with Lashley. He had a better thing going on. He had fucking he had MVP cutting his promos. He had the Hurt Business. He was a better champion. He was the more intriguing champion. Niggas got over Drew McIntyre, man. Look, there was a time where I was a fan of his, right? When he was a heel. He was a Scottish psychopath. What is it with this shit, man? How come when you turn face in that company, they cut your balls off? Why? Why is that? When you turn face, they cut your balls off. You become a complete 180 of your original character. I don't like that. That's why I'm scared when Reigns finally turns back into a face. Dude, I'm afraid that Roman Reigns will go back to being a boring face. Because let's be honest here. The Reigns that you see right now, when he finally turns back face, he will be a complete 180 to what he was. And that's sad. And I'm afraid of that. Why couldn't Drew McIntyre just stay as the Scottish psychopath, right? Keep those same intense promos, right? Keep the same character. Keep the fucking vest. Keep the fucking jacket. Okay, keep that same character, but change your opponents. You are still that same guy. The same promos, same everything. Only thing that's different, you are facing bad guys now, which is telling us you are a good guy now. You ain't got to change your whole character. Just change your opponents. That's why Stone Cold was over as a heel and as a face. That's why The Rock was over as a heel and as a face, because there was no difference. There was no difference between The Rock, the face, The Rock, the heel. No difference. They don't allow faces to be that way anymore. I don't get it. Drew McIntyre, his character has a complete 180 now, man. They cut his balls off. He's cutting these cringe promos, Jack and the Beanstalk, fucking My Days in Ireland. Over here cutting promos about his fucking sword. I mean, this guy is cosplay Braveheart now. They cut his balls off. I miss the Scottish psychopath. He had something. He had charisma. He had intensity. He reminded me of 1999 Triple H. He had that kind of upside. He had that kind of upside. It's like, dude, he's supposed to be Dave. He's supposed to be fucking Dave Batista, man. He's supposed to be Dave Batista. It's like, dude, why can't you be Dave Batista? Now he always says he was a bad face. I 1000% disagree with that. I think Batista, he was a great face to me. He was a great baby face. The crowd loved him. He had that great entrance. He had the great song. I walk for miles inside this bitter danger. That was a badass song. That was a face song. That was no heel song. That was a face song. He was over on fucking SmackDown. That should have been Drew McIntyre. Why couldn't you stay as a fucking badass like fucking Batista? But no, he's a corny, cringe face. The crowd doesn't relate to him. They fucking pipe in noises for him. He gets no reaction, by the way. They pipe in crowd reaction for Drew McIntyre. They pipe in noises for him because he's not over. And y'all want him to be Reigns? Dude, Drew should be fighting for the IC title. Let's just be real. Turn heel and take the belt off of Shinsuke. That's all. That's his ceiling now. He is a mid-card guy. If you can't beat Big E or Lashley, you ain't beating Reigns, homie. Okay? You ain't beating Reigns. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid. Dude, that's all I'm saying. Drew McIntyre is really overrated, man. I feel like they failed him, man. Why did they change his whole gimmick? Why couldn't he stay as a Scottish psychopath? Why are you the Scottish warrior? Nobody relates to that. That's cringe. That's forced. The Scottish warrior? You go from the psychopath to the warrior? Nigga, that's cringe. That's forced. That's why he's not over. That's why he's not over, man. He has potential. He has the size. He has the look. But they failed him. He had his time in the sun. They gave him a shot to be the flagship face of Raw, and he failed. And now he got demoted on fucking SmackDown, which is Reigns' show. Drew McIntyre went from having his own show to being just now he's a mid-card background player on Roman Reigns' show. So, if he can't beat Big E and Lashley, right, what makes you think he should beat the number one face of the company in Roman Reigns? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm done.